Hi everyone, it's Friday, February 11th, 2011. Well, last night I started a new Champions Online character. I'm giving the Inferno archetype, however you want to say it. I'm giving the Inferno character build a spin, and it's actually surprisingly fun. I do have to pay attention to my hit points a lot of the time because those tend to disappear. Um, the real downside with the Avenger style of approach to the game is that you run out of hit points fast, but you build up energy really fast. The thing I'm noticing with the Inferno that I find more palatable than the Behemoth is that recovery is one of the super stats. The way power works is when you're not in combat, you have this equilibrium where you maintain a certain level of power. So when you enter combat, that's the set amount of power that you have on hand, and you can build energy beyond that equilibrium to your maximum. So equilibrium is kind of a temporary maximum for when you're out of combat. Well, recovery is the statistic that adjusts this equilibrium setting on your power bar. So the lower your recovery, the lower your stores of energy will be when you start a fight. The higher your recovery, the higher that energy. So the cool thing about the Inferno is that it's a pre-build with an eye towards recovery. So I'm level 11 or something. I have around 80 recovery, which probably doesn't mean much to you guys, but it means that I start a fight with something like 2/3 of my maximum power. So I can start off with the big fireball in the middle of a group of bad guys. That's cool and really, really helps make up for the fact that this character build is essentially a glass cannon. Now, in the near future, I looked at the powers that you eventually get, and one of them is you heal from fire around you. And I just got an ability that sets fire to everything around you. So I need to wait a few more levels. I think it's level 17. I could be wrong. I'm just doing it off the top of my head. That, and I left my phone downstairs. That you get this ability to heal from fire. As it is, I just made a guy who has a suit of armor that gives him the ability to use fire, and his name is Fireclad. Oh, excuse me. And he's actually surprisingly easy to play. I just have to keep an eye on his hit points. As opposed to the Behemoth, where I really don't have to worry about his hit points, but I'm constantly running out of power to do his abilities because he has such a low equilibrium. Like, he starts combat with like a little bit of his bar filled up, so I can do maybe a partial wind up, as it were. I could start combat with a leap attack, but then I have to spend several seconds building up energy with my energy building attack. My Behemoth is named Krath, and he's named actually after the Krath war droids from Star Wars. He looks nothing like a Krath war droid, because those things are like skeletal with swords, I think. Maybe I'm thinking more of the Mark I Dark Troopers, or the Type 1s. But it's basically the same thing, just not made out of the lightsaber resistant material. Or are they? I don't remember. Anyways. So, I have Krath the Behemoth, and I have Fireclad the Inferno. I also still have Intense Gouda the Soldier, which I'm loath to delete him because he's got an amazing name. And I have Cimarine the Marksman, who I will probably be replacing at some time in the future with something else if the mood strikes me. Right now I'm happy with the characters I have. But yeah, today I've spent some time playing Champions with the Inferno, and I intend to play a bit more. I haven't gone to the Canadian wilderness yet. Who knew? And I did get a few perks in town that I had never gotten before. High Five and Dumpster Diver and to the center of the world. Yeah, I got those. And I think when I logged out earlier, I was level 11. When I logged out last night, I was like level 7 or something. So, I mean, crap, man. The low levels come really fast. And then once you hit around... That's actually around level 11. Things start to slow down. But that's okay. It's expected. But I've noticed something about MMOs. Champions is obviously a game. Alright? Lord of the Rings is a time investment. I might change these words later, but, you know, Champions, you're there to play. Lord of the Rings, you're there to invest your time. D&D Online, you're there to do group play, party objectives. Star Wars Galaxies, you move in, and you live there. And Star Trek Online is a mix between the investment of Lord of the Rings and the play of Champions. Sometimes I log in just to, you know, mess around, blow ships up. And sometimes I log in just to experience things. It's a nice mix. It's definitely very different from Champions, which is Cryptic's. Cryptic owns both Star Trek Online and Champions Online. And D&D Online and Lord of the Rings Online are both owned by Turbine. And Star Wars Galaxies is owned by Sony Online Entertainment, who I'm not so fond of. But meh, what are you gonna do? Anyways, and I'm expecting the Old Republic, the BioWare MMO for Star Wars that's coming out in the near future, sometime this year, I think. First of all, I can wait for it. Second of all, take your time making it. Third, I expect this game to not only be an investment, but an experience. I expect it to be a lot like Knights of the Old Republic 1. I don't really have to say the 1, but you get what I mean. I expect it to be a well thought out story, but I want to be able to take something else away from the Old Republic that I didn't take away from KOTOR. KOTOR, I sit down and I fall asleep while playing through it because I've done it. I played it all the way through the first time, completionist light side. So, and I can't bring myself to play dark side. That's a whole nother thing. But I just wanted to put that out there, that I expect to way more replayability out of the Old Republic. Like, I expect to be making and deleting characters almost at the same rate that I'm making and deleting them for Champions. Only, I hope I can have more than 2 characters a server. Yeah. I know I want a Jedi Knight, single blade lightsaber. I think that's Guardian. And I want to make I don't know if they're calling them smugglers or scoundrels, but I want to play a smuggler because that's fun. Anyways, this has gone on way too long. I'm gonna hook this up to my computer, upload it, yada yada yada, and order something to eat. Yeah, that would be good. Catch y'all later. Until next time.